Chapter 52. Knowing directly. Isn't it something that humans should naturally do? To set out on a journey to seek the ultimate truth? I asked. Yes. Everyone who is an ascetic, a monk, or someone who knows they are in the midst of suffering, and is seeking liberation from suffering, all use the same method, seeking refuge or seeking reliance on external things. And this is the answer to my earlier statement that the Buddha taught something strange compared to what most people taught at that time. The core of the truth that the Buddha brought at that time was like declaring freedom for everyone, saying that from now on they no longer needed to rely on anyone else, not on rituals, situations, or times, nor on any external knowledge. The Buddha came to reveal the secret that everyone can rely on themselves, can discover the ultimate truth by themselves, knowing by oneself, or what you call enlightenment, which everyone can achieve through a state called accessing the Buddhahood within themselves. They only need to realize that they are already Buddhas. Therefore, they don't need to rely on anyone else, not even the Buddha himself. He set an example by saying that he was now a Buddha, so he came to tell everyone to be a Buddha as he is. If anyone listened to what the Buddha said and could understand it, they could attain the truth immediately, regardless of gender, age, social class, or education. Everyone had equal rights. This was the strangeness in his teaching method because, at that time, learning had to go through education, through vast amounts of knowledge, with tests, evaluations, and promotions in stages according to the level of knowledge. The Buddha's method had no stages and was timeless. He added, timeless. I asked, because this word made me feel excited. That is, there is no need to accumulate knowledge, no need to take exams to climb the ranks, no need to wait for it to ripen like a fruit that needs time. Anyone who understands this principle can attain it immediately. And when they reach that state, they will know directly or tell themselves that they know by themselves. He replied, how is knowing directly different from learning? Could you elaborate on this further? I asked. Try to imagine with me. Suppose there is a vast and desolate land. Everywhere you look, there is only barrenness and scarcity. Many people live in that land, and they have lived there for so long that they have become accustomed to it. One day, someone comes and tells them that there is another land, as different from theirs as heaven is from earth, because there is only abundance and peace. So, they all set out to find that place. But when they arrive, they find a tall, white wall standing majestically in front of them, blocking their way. It is a wall that cannot be crossed, because when they look up, it is so high that they cannot see the end, and when they look to the left and right, it stretches so far that they cannot see the end, and this wall has no entrance at all. They noticed that near the wall, there were people dressed strangely, standing in various spots. Some wore long cloaks, some wore oddly shaped hats, some had ornaments that indicated honor or special status, while others wore no clothes, had long, tangled hair, and were covered in mud. Each of them had their own unique characteristics and styles. For example, some held thick books, reading aloud, while a number of other people held the same kind of books and read along. Some stood on a platform higher than others and spoke about something. When asked, they learned that these strangely dressed individuals were all telling and explaining what was behind the wall, what it was like. Some said that inside there was only happiness and joy. Some said that there were only abundant fruits and grains, more than could ever be used. And some said that there were strange animals that they had never seen before. The people who sat listening to their stories or reading the texts that had been recorded in books were all delighted and excited to have the opportunity to know what was behind the wall. Some could imagine it. They all praised the people who told them these stories, saying that they were clever and could explain things in great detail, making it so vivid that it brought them joy. It seemed that everyone had completely forgotten their initial intention for coming here, and they were no longer interested in going there. Instead, they focused on the stories that these people told them, until one person, amidst the crowd engrossed in listening to the stories of the world behind the wall, suddenly had a thought. What are we doing? Why are we interested in what they are saying? Then he stopped listening, stopped reading, stopped relying on others, and turned to rely on himself. He began by asking and answering his own questions. How can I get inside there? And as soon as he had a strong desire to see it for himself, the wall, which was just an illusion, immediately disappeared. The place of abundance appeared. At that very moment, he knew directly what it was like inside. He no longer needed any explanations. What he experienced was real, a genuine experience. Now he realized that he no longer needed to pay attention to what anyone else said. Now he had experienced that fullness for himself. The barrenness and scarcity were gone. It was a world of peace, the noble wealth that everyone seeks but never finds because it is hidden within. When he fully realized that truth, he thought he should tell everyone about it, starting by encouraging everyone to stop relying on the stories of others and return to using their own abilities. He emphasized. It sounds like what the Buddha taught was very simple, wasn't it? I asked. Yes. It is simple in the eyes of those who do not cling to knowledge, but it will be very difficult for those who cling to what they already know, especially clinging to the belief that what they know is the most correct, because knowledge is a process that prevents them from seeing their true potential, and is an obstacle that keeps them from using their own abilities. What the Buddha taught is not knowledge, but a method to enter knowing through direct realization. Therefore, the Buddha said that knowledge is as abundant as the leaves in the forest. But what he taught is only a handful of leaves. Just by putting this method into practice and achieving results, it is equivalent to knowing or directly realizing unlimited knowledge. Those who follow this method will be certain and confident by themselves, because they have directly experienced it, he explained. If it's that easy, why are there still so many people who don't know about this? I asked.